Welcome to Mindset Mondays, where we empower contractors like you with the tools, systems, and frameworks, not just to succeed in business, but in life as well. Join us as we explore the strategies that will elevate your work, insights that will clear your path, and stories that will inspire your journey. Because here, it's about more than just the build. It's about crafting a legacy. Welcome back to another episode of Mindset Monday. I am your host, Gerritt Bake, from the American Contractor Network, and I'm excited to share with you today some tips, some tricks, some things that you can do to improve the functionality of your business and ultimately your life. This weekend, I had this really cool opportunity to go watch a rugby match with my two boys. My oldest son is 22, my youngest is 18. And we went to watch the Professional Rugby League. Don't ask me what it stands for, what it's called, but we went to watch the Utah Warriors versus the Chicago Hounds. Beautiful afternoon in this little stadium here close to where we live. And we were sitting in some pretty decent seats. I splurged a little bit, watching these guys play rugby. Now, if you've never seen rugby and you're familiar with American football, it's nothing like it. What about soccer? Nope, nothing like that either. Very unique set of rules. 15 players on each side on this field. The ball obviously is larger and a little more round. It's just a completely different game. But it was interesting watching the game and enjoying what was happening, you know, some of the hard hits and some of the touches, as they call it, their touchdowns, and seeing everything that was happening behind the scenes, but really looking at things at like this higher level, right? I started to look around and see, okay, how are the concessions working? And I started to look around and see, okay, merchandise sales. What about security? What about the announcer? What about the field, the referees, the coaches, the training staff? All of these pieces that went into running this professional rugby team. And as I was looking around and just admiring this well-run operation, I was thinking about contractors and I was thinking about business in general and how it is that business is run. Every single day, there are tens of thousands of businesses that are bought and sold. Tens of thousands of businesses. Most businesses, though, are not sold for a profit. In fact, they are sold for a loss. And they're usually sold because either an owner's tired of it, or an owner's ready to retire, or an owner doesn't know what to do with the thing next, or the business was inherited by, a parent that passed away, or spouse, and they end up just wanting to get it off their hands, and so they sell it for a loss. So I started to think about the businesses that are sold for a profit, right? And the distinction between the two types of businesses. Now, if we were to take everything out of the picture, so we're able to take, somebody passing away, we're able to take, some of the things that you probably wouldn't think about when it comes to selling a business. We're able to take those things away and look at things just for as they were, right? What makes a business more attractive in a sale and therefore sell for a higher price? There's some really interesting things that you start to notice, some patterns, right? Now, I will tell you this. There's some anomalies out there. If you're familiar with American football, the Washington Commanders used to be the Washington Redskins. Last year, they sold for a little over $6 billion. Their management team was horrendous. Their team owner, Dan Snyder, I won't even get into all the issues that he had. But they sold for $6 billion, right? They haven't won a Super Bowl since 1992. 1992, right? 34 years. Haven't won a Super Bowl, right? And yet they sold for a record $6 billion. Why is that? See, the reason is, number one, they're in a market that's attractive, right? American football, there's only a certain number of teams. The market's attractive, right? But number two is how the system is set up, right? None of the professional football teams lose money. They don't lose money. They have a system set up to help them, in fact, make money. So what is it that would help a contracting business sell for more money? Well, I was thinking about it this weekend because the truth is that most contractors don't think about the exit. They don't think about what it's going to take to sell their business. The only thing that they're thinking about is what? The next sale, the next day, the next hire, the next whatever the thing is, and they're not looking out into the future. Here's a rude wake-up call. You're going to somehow, some way sell your business. You're either going to die, and whoever inherits your business is probably going to sell it. You're going to pass it on to your kids. You're going to pass it on to employees. You're going to sell it to another individual, or you're going to sell it to another company, right? Like, you're going to exit your business. And if you know that you're going to exit your business eventually, why are you not preparing now for the exit that inevitably will happen? Sure, you might say it's not going to happen for another 30 years. Okay. But most contracting businesses don't make it 30 years. In fact, the average age of a contractor today is 46. 46 years old, right? So if you look at it this way, then you realize that how you approach business has to change. What it is that you're looking at doing or not doing needs to change. The way that you do things needs to change. The way that you hire needs to change. The way that you structure your jobs needs to change. All of these things need to change. Why? Because when you do sell or want to sell, you want to be able to sell for the highest amount of money possible. Now, I've been having some really cool conversations with people in the private equity world, i.e. people looking to buy businesses, cash flowing businesses. And during those conversations, I've learned a lot about what it is that they are looking for. And I want to share those things with you today. And there's really 4 categories that they fall into. Sure, there's some ones outside depending on the industry, but really for contractors, there's 4 areas that these private equity companies are looking for when it comes to buying a contracting business. Number 1, something we call an operating system. What is an operating system? Well, if you have a Mac or a PC, congratulations, you are running an operating system, right? What does the computer do when it boots up? What does the computer do when you open a program? What does the computer do when you surf the web? What does the computer do when you plug in something like a video camera or an SD card? What does the computer do? What does the computer do? What does the computer do? Right? That is an operating system. That happens to be a computer operating system, but it is an operating system nonetheless. Guess what? Businesses who sell for the most money have a business operating system. Now, what is a business operating system? Well, I want you to think about it this way. Think about it like a business that is able to know what to do in every situation. Every situation, right? That is an operating system. Think about your computer. Does it think or stop and think when think about your computer? We'll redo this piece. Think about your computer. When you type into it, go to this website, does it have to stop and think? When you tell it to open a program, does it have to stop and figure out which program you're talking about? No, it just does the thing that it's programmed to do. And in business, you want your contracting business to run the exact same way. How do I get my business to do the things it needs to do every single time? Right? And what are we talking about there? Well, the first thing we talk about is an operating system, right? How does it function as a whole? The day-to-day, if you will. And we break that down and say, marketing. What does your marketing plan look like? And most contractors say, I don't know. Referrals? Facebook? Pay-per-click, right? They don't actually have a marketing system. And because they don't have a system, again, it doesn't work consistently. We talk about your sales system. What's your process prior to, during, and after the sale? What's your follow-up process look like, right? That is the process. What about your jobs? What do you do prior to arriving on the job? You work with subs, you don't work with subs. You work with homeowners, you just work with other contractors, right? What does your system for running the jobs look like? How do you make sure that your employees do what they need to do and how they need to do it in the way that you need it done, right? The system. We talk about your books on the back end. Are your books a mess? Are you scrambling trying to figure out who's paid and who hasn't? Are you scrambling to try and get invoices in before that once a month deadline that your commercial contractors have so that you don't have to go another 30 days without getting a paycheck? The system. What about your hiring, onboarding, and training? What does that look like? Are you just looking for somebody with a warm pulse? Do you have a job description that you put out first? Do you have a filtering process? All of these things are part of the system, okay? Your business operating system. And the more efficient and productive your business operating system is, the more attractive you become as a potential buyout, right? The more attractive you become to private equity. And I say that because they don't want to buy a big mess. They're not looking to come in and run the day-to-day operations like you. They want a smooth functioning machine. The second thing that they look for, private equity, when they're looking to purchase a contracting business, the second thing they look for is a management team. Not Y, O, and U. And again, there is no I in team because this is not you. Think about it. If someone were to come in and purchase your company, do you get sold with the company? No, that's not the way it works, right? At least that's not the way you want it to work. You want to be able to walk away with cash in your pocket and ride off into the sunset. Not be stuck to the business that you just sold for a period of 18 to 24 or 36 months because now you didn't have a management team in place. And so performance is tied to your payout, meaning that you are stuck now in a job. Who wants that? Nobody does. And so you have to build out a management team. Now, depending on what you do, your management team might look a little different, but basically you'll need somebody to be the HBIC, the head bitch in charge, the person running the show. Right now, that's you, but eventually you're going to want to groom somebody for that position. Manage the day-to-day operations of things, okay? The second thing you're going to want is a number two, right? The number two who can run the integrated parts of the business. Make sure that's marketing's functioning the way it needs to. Sales is, the teams, your finance, right? All of your operations on a day-to-day basis. The third thing is you're going to need leaders inside of each of these different categories. You're going to need somebody running marketing. You're going to need somebody running sales. You're going to need somebody running finance. You're going to need somebody running your personnel, right? So they're going to want to see that there's a management team in place. Why? Because if we can pull you out and the team keeps running, then that becomes an asset that I want to buy. That's an attractive asset, right? If you're involved in every aspect of the business, what the hell am I buying? I'm buying you, right? I don't want that. Now, if you're not sure if your business can function without you, here's a very easy way to tell. Take 2 weeks and go on vacation. No cell phone, no laptop, no communication. 2 weeks. And watch what happens to your business. Now, most of you will say, haha, can't do that. Well, there's your clue. Some of you will say, I'm going to do that, but I'm afraid of what's going to happen when I come back. And a few of you will be like, cool, let's do it. But the point is to get to a season in your business when you can walk away for 2 weeks, no communication, no emails, no text messages, no phone calls, no nothing, and the business continues to run at or better than it did when you were there, right? So management team, number 2. Number 3 is the all-important cash flow. Nobody wants to jump on a sinking ship. Okay? I don't care what you did last year, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. Hey, COVID, we doubled in size. That's great. COVID was 2 years ago. What are you doing today? What does your cash flow look like today? Now, depending on whether you work with homeowners, you work with other contractors, you work with commercial builders, right? Your business model will be slightly different. But cash flow is what rules. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, cash is king. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what's left over, okay? The cash. Now, in the business world, this is called EBITDA. New word for the day for you, EBITDA. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, okay? This is what somebody who's looking at your business is looking to buy. Right now, I have a company, a private equity company that's looking to purchase contracting businesses that are over $1 million in EBITDA annually, right? Meaning that that's what they're keeping at the end of the day. That's a very profitable company. So is your company profitable? Well, the truth is most of you don't know. You think that money coming into your bank account is profit. It's not. It's what's left over after paying all your bills, all your employees, all your everything, right? That's what's left over. That's your profit. If you don't have anything left over, you got a problem, okay? So cash flow. How do we improve cash flow? Real quick, figure out job costing, right? Figure out how to make sure that you're bidding a job to make money, not to have cash running through your business. Fair? All right. And the last piece is the potential for growth. This is not a contracting business, but think about it this way. If I had a company that provided home telephone service and I wanted to sell it, how attractive do you think that that would be? Home telephone service. Not very much, right? In fact, I know a lot of remodelers, we were doing it for a while. We were just ripping out the phone jacks completely because nobody has home phones anymore, right? So even if you have a company that's profitable, is it profitable in an industry that has potential for growth, right? If not, good luck getting what you want for your business, okay? You want the potential for growth. Look at the potential for growth. Right now, I think we're 16 million homes short in the U.S., so contracting businesses are attractive, okay? But you want to be in an industry or an area where it's growing. If you're not in an area where contracting is growing, then what's the likelihood of you wanting to, or you getting what it is that you want out of your business, okay? The potential for growth is ultimately why somebody would want to buy your business. I can see that if this business is running efficiently and profitably right now, but if I come in and I do these 3 things, I know that I can double revenue. Awesome. That's an attractive thing for someone to want to come in and buy your business. If you do not begin with the end in mind, you will be left behind when it comes time to sell your business. My challenge to you is to look at your business right now and say, okay, what do I want to sell it for? What do I need to do today or start to do today to get it to that point that it can sell for the amount of money that I want to sell it for? Begin with the end in mind, ladies and gentlemen. You will never be left behind. All right, that's all I got for you. You guys know what time it is. It's time to get after it. 3, 2, 1. Off you go.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of Mindset Mondays. Thank you for joining us and being a part of this incredible journey to not just be great at what you do, but to live a great life too. Remember, every tool, tip, and story shared here is a step towards building your dream, both on and off the job site.